We're about a minute before we start our live tour, showing you the celery operation. So I hope, guys, you can hear me well, because the wind is picking up a bit. It's about 12 miles per hour at the moment, but for that reason we're using a microphone. I've got one of my colleagues helping me, so please put in the comments if you can hear me well, if you have any questions. And I think it's already past, so let's give it a go. So one more time, my name is Ivaylo and I'm the GE's UK Celery Crop Manager. I've got about 20-25 minutes to show everything what we do on celery. So I'll start with a little bit of an introduction for GE's. So GE's is the third largest UK fresh produce business in UK. So the business was established in 1952 by Guy Shropshire and currently is owned and run by second and third generation of the Shropshire family. Celery has always been a key crop for GE's since the very beginning, and this year we're growing about 500 hectares of celery in UK, supplying the major UK retailers from about beginning of June, depends on the UK spring, going up to beginning of November. And then for the remaining 26 weeks of the year, our sister farm in Spain, GE's Hispania, is supplying very nice good quality from the southeastern part of Spain in Murcia, which is the winter garden for Europe, where we've got a very nice sunny weather, so supplying year-round fresh crunchy celery to everyone in UK. So a little bit about celery. So celery is not a hero product, but actually so versatile and could be used in so many different occasions. It's good for cooking, it's good for cold snacking, it's good for juicing, it's good in salads. So actually so good that actually celery is one of the three most important vegetables in the Italian kitchen, together with onions and carrots, being the main ingredients in most of the bolognese and all nice Italian dishes. So celery is really versatile product, and if you're not using it, please start, as you can always find a different way. We've got plenty of recipes online on our lovecelery.co.uk site, so you can always get inspired from some new cooking stuff you can do with celery. So celery, it's a very long-term planning product. We're at the moment ordering the seeds for next year. So this will get prime and pelleted because the celery seeds are very, very tiny. So they need to be pelleted so we can handle them. They will get sown in trays, in blocks, from beginning of January for planting beginning of March. So first planting beginning of March, first harvest beginning of June. So it's taking about 90 to 95 days for beginning of season to get the first UK celery on the shelf. And then we're growing it in camps here in East Anglia on the fen. We've got a beautiful morning today. The sun is shining. The crop looks very good, very nice, lush green color. So we're really pleased with the quality we're putting on the shelf at the moment. So we're growing in camps at Norfolk as well for the majority of the season, which will take us to about probably middle of October. So we've got another month of harvesting here on the fen before we move to the coast near Great Yarmouth, where we are using the slightly softer climate to make sure we do not expose the crop to any frost risk here on the fen being quite low. So the last couple of weeks of production is coming from the coast, and then it's moving slowly to Spain. So what you can see behind me is one of our harvesting rigs. These are all designed and built in-house. I think the journey has started many years ago by Guy Shropshire, who was the first one who moved the production from factory to the field. So what you're going to see today is a mobile factory actually on the field, packing fresh produce, date coated, bar coated, straight away to go to the customer shelves. So this was transformational for the UK market and the business, as we can supply much fresher, better product on the shelf. Normally we will get our orders in the morning every single day, 365 days of the year, and in the UK season this will get harvested, cooled down and dispatched within 24 hours. So it will be on the customer shelf in maximum 36 to 48 hours. In the winter season it's taking a little bit more time. Obviously the product is spending 3 days on the road, so we're talking probably about 4 days delivery from the moment it's being harvested in Spain to the customer shelf. So these rigs have been developed extensively, especially over the last 10-15 years with the technology moving on. So what you'll see now is a complete unit where we've got people walking, hand cutting, selecting the best quality from the field, the product is getting placed on a conveyor, and then it's getting trimmed, washed, the water gets blown away, and then the product is flow packed into auto flow wrapper. So it's very important that we do wash our product, as we are growing in a really rich, fertile black fan soil, peaty soil, which is full of nutrients, which what celery likes, but at the same time is bringing the challenges with presentation. So having the washing on the rig is a crucial part to make sure we've got very clean from presentation perspective product. It's still not ready to eat, and it's strongly recommended that you wash your product before you use it at home. It's written on the pack. So what I'm planning to do now, I'll take you to a quick tour on the rig where I'll show you how we're handling the celery, how it's getting packed, and then we'll come back here and we'll move to a little bit further down the field to a different part where I'll be talking a little bit more about sustainability and growing. So just bear with me, I need to put my mask on. As this rig, every rig's got a team of about 15 people. They're a bubble. Obviously we live in a very difficult environment at the moment with COVID-19, so it's very important to minimize and actually restrict any non-cohort people visiting the rig. So face mask is a must. So I'll put this one on now. And I'll take the phone from my colleague and I'll be showing you the celery harvesting operation. So this is a 12-meter header, and inside we've got the people walking and cutting celery. So I've got the side of the header open up for you. So where you can see we've got up to 10 people harvesting celery. The guy in the middle is actually the driver of the machine. The machine is running at the moment on an auto harvest mode. You can see the machine is very slowly creeping forward. So he's not spending any time driving the machine, and actually he's cutting. So a team of about 14-15 people will cut about 30,000-35,000 sticks a day. You can see we've got two conveyors. The top conveyor is for the in-spec product. The bottom conveyor is for anything which is out of spec, which we'll be still collecting, trying to minimize the food waste on the field. So it will get collected and sent to the factory where it will be supplying into processors, mainly for dicing and slicing into soups and freezing. So you can see the further distance over there, the conveyor is climbing and is going through a scissors blade, which is trimming the product down to 300 millimeters, standard length for our whole head celery. And then it's entering this huge, about 4-meter stainless steel washer, where we've got about 250 nozzles, spraying highly pressurized water, doing very intensive washing of the product to make sure there is no soiling left with it. Just on the way out, you can see one of the pipes there is our air blower. So it's a 900 millimeter air blower. The conveyor is going on a slight angle and we're blowing most of the water back into the water system, utilizing it all. So fully recycling all of the water to do the pre-wash of the next celery coming. So you can see here on this side, we've got a double filtering system. You can see the flow of water going. So we're filtrating and reusing. There is not a single drop of water on the field. The water is recycled 100%. Every trailer which is pulled by the harvester has got a water tank on the back, where we're bringing about 2,000 liters of water. So this is enough water to fulfill 12 pallets of produce, which is about 12,000 heads of celery. So the majority of the water will remain with the product. On average, probably 10-15 grams of residual water with every pack. And this is where the water goes. So I'll go quickly to the rig. It's a little bit noisy, so you need to bear with me. Hopefully the microphone is doing a good job. So I'll just quickly jump on the platform. So this is the packing process. So behind me, this is where the celery gets trimmed. This is the washer, and this is the final goods coming on the other end. We've got a quality control point where we're making a final check of the product to make sure it is within the customer spec. Then the product is going into auto flow wrapper, which you can see is operating at the moment with 80 packs a minute. So at the moment we are packing G's brand celery. We've got online printer, and this is when the products go out. It's getting packed in boxes. So you can see beautiful G's green celery. So this is product which is out of spec for one reason or another, mainly about weight. So as I said, this is going to our factory where it will get sliced and diced into freezing. So we are trying to minimize any food waste on the field. This is a pallet of G's brand celery. After it gets done, it will go to the trailer. And then once the trailer is full, a tractor driver will bring a new one. So this is the operation. I'll be just going out of the rig now. And what we'll do, we'll jump in my colleague's truck and we'll go to the other end of the field where I've got a little bit more exciting stuff to show you. So this rig was harvesting, as we're calling, standard celery. So this is the celery you're gonna buy from any of the UK major retailers on the shelf, sold in the region of about, I would say, 45 to about 70p per stick. This is our standard celery. I've got a little bit more exciting stuff to show you now. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna stop here and I'm gonna talk to you about some of the important stuff we do in terms of sustainability. Sustainability is a major part of our business philosophy. So we're always running hand by hand a very intensive farming together with nature. So my colleague Rob has explained a lot about the biodiversity and how we're enhancing the wildlife. So this field of celery is about 30 hectares. So I've got about 3 million sticks of celery here. This is the only crop which will be cropped on this field. So from 12 months, we're gonna have 3 months only of crop on the field. So this field, part of it was over winter plow, part of it was not. So we're trying to minimize our cultivation and soil erosion. So what I wanted to talk to you is that we had a cover crop on our field before celery. This is a green manure mix between two species, buckwheat and Phacelia. Both of them really important for our farming operation, as firstly and probably most importantly, we're protecting our soil from the famous fan blow, and also both of the cover crops are really helping to prevent any nitrogen leaching and also attracting any wildlife and beneficial insects. So celery is really high in water content. It's more than 95% of water. So the most important thing on celery is water. So over the last couple of years, we are trying to transform our celery growing operation and moving away from overhead irrigation, where the water losses are really big, using overhead booms, and moving towards drip irrigation. So what you can see here, this is some of our new variety crop, which we're growing 100% on drip irrigation. You can see drip irrigation is very, very efficient way of applying water. We can feed the crop daily, not once in every 5 or 7 days, which is the common practice with overhead irrigation. So the crop is getting very small drinks daily, which is helping it to grow stress-free, producing really nice tasting sweet celery. So this is the difference. This celery is specifically grown for our growing stick snack pack business. You can see here in front of me, there is a box of already finished goods, which is ready to eat sticks or snack pack produced in our factory. So we think that this is the future, convenience, ready to eat products coming from a new, better tasting variety, grown with improved growing techniques, thinking about the environment, reducing water, reducing fertilizer. The beauty of the drip irrigation is we no longer need to apply any fertilizer at the base, which was the common practice for so many years. So literally we start planting this crop and we don't put any fertilizer at the base. So as the crop grows and the needs for food grows, we start applying food through the drip tape. If we see that actually the soil health and the microbiology of the soil is good enough to help the plant to extract all these nutrients from our rich black fan soil, which you can see the color. So actually we don't need to apply. This is the only way where you've got the security of having the option to apply fertilizer, but also the only way you can reduce it without having impact at the end. So I can confirm that this year, using the drip tape irrigation and fertilizer application, we have managed to save more than 30% of fertilizer versus the previous year. So that's definitely the future. So you can see this is some of our freshly packed snack pack products. It looks beautiful, it tastes even better. So if you're not into the cold eating of celery, I would strongly recommend. Celery is a guilt-free snack. One stick of celery contains only 2 calories, and even there is some myth about the celery, about the negative calories, that your body will need more calories to digest the celery. Celery is really helpful, really high in fiber, which is helping the digesting system. Also really high in potassium and calcium, zinc. So potassium is really helping keeping the blood pressure low, and calcium is really behind the healthy skin. So celery juicing is having its place at the sun at the moment, with a lot of famous people using the celery juice to stay hydrated. And actually we have seen a massive increase on sales year on year due to the, I would say, the very modern trend of celery juicing. So what else I wanted to show you? At the further distance there, you see one of our latest automated, or I would say semi-automated harvest tricks. So we're gonna quickly jump into the truck and I'll take you there to show you the future. You can see this crop is much taller. It could reach well over a meter. So we have designed internally our own auto harvester, which actually we don't have any people doing heavy manual handling job trimming the celery by hand. So we have developed this lifter, which is a 6-row lifter, taking about 2.5 meters of width, which is 6 rows of celery. So this was developed over the last 10 years. We have started with exploring the technology, what will be the optimum weight, about handling the material, because auto harvesting, or I would say lifting of celery, has got its time probably for the last 30-40 years. The main difference is that celery was lifted in a trailers using mainly for processors. What we're trying to do is to lift celery without causing any mechanical damage to it. So actually we can process this celery after that into our factory and produce these high quality stick snack packs, where the end consumer could enjoy them on the go as a convenience, ready to eat, as I said, guilt-free snack. So what we're gonna see today, this is our Rig 20, is a 6-row lifter. We've got 7 people working on that machine. So these 7 people are harvesting about 50,000 celeries a day. You can see this is one of our engineers. I think there is a small technical challenge with the rig, so hopefully we'll get it going any minute now. But the idea is, you can see there are 6 lifting belts. Each lifting belt's got an undercutting blade. There is a auto depth control, which is telling the 6 rams above the 6 lifting belts to go up and down, moving the undercutting blade. I'll go very close so you can see. So this is the undercutting blade going into the celery, and this is the next celery which was trimmed. So this rig, as I said, with only 7 people, is comfortably lifting and packing about 50,000 celeries a day. If we didn't have this technology, we would need at least 40 people probably to harvest the same amount on the ground, not having a rig. So we've got 2 conveyors. After the product is lifted, it's going on the left and right. I'll quickly show you the process. So once the product is undercutted, lifted, then the product is going down the conveyor into scissors blades, which are trimming the celery, and the celery is nicely laying down on a conveyor where we have the people collecting the product in crates. So you can see this is a very tall celery, nice uniform with no damages at all. So this material will get sent to the factory where it will get cut, washed, ready to eat standard, and then packed into the majority of the UK retailers. So unfortunately, with every machine there are the challenges with breakdowns, and I think we're just having one on our online live tour. So unfortunately I can't show you the rig running, but it was running since the morning. You can see they have started at the very end of the field, and they have reached, I would say, half distance down the line in less than 2 hours. So I think hopefully you understand the process, and I think this is definitely the future. For us, the next stage will be to join this lifting technology and the packing technology which we've seen on the other rig, and actually having rigs without cutters, because cutting is the heaviest, more difficult, most labor intensive job which we want to minimize in the future, and we also want to minimize our dependency on labor. So let me just try to switch the camera. I can't really work it out how I can switch the camera, but my colleague is coming to help me. So I think that's all. If you have any questions about Celery, please put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them all. It's a little bit difficult to do it on the live tour, so I really appreciate if you like or don't like this video. Just put your questions and I'll be happily answering them. And I would strongly recommend Celery. If you don't like Celery, I would strongly recommend to try, especially some of our new varieties into our ready-to-eat products. So thank you for being with us. I hope you enjoyed the tour. See you later, guys. Thank you very much.